Go green, go white, go home. The Orange shock Izzo. His Spartans in the home crowd in an absolute gladiator fight, advancing to the Sweet 16 with a 55-53 win. We'll give you our thoughts on all of that. Plus, we'll check in with social media for fan feedback. And Syracuse gets another shot at Duke, and this time it matters. Friday, March 23rd at 9:35. Let's go.
Make some noise, Orange fans. It's time for the Cuse Nation podcast with Sean and Joe. Give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/Cuse Nation podcast.
All right, what's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning in to the Cuse Nation podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please share it. I want to take 1 minute to say thank you to all the listeners of this show. This show is only about a year and a half old, and we've built a pretty decent audience from nothing, basically. We've gained more and more listeners since we've started every month. So thank you so much. It would be no fun putting in time into producing a show if no one listened and we sat around talking to ourselves. Even though we actually said
I do that a lot.
We said we would do that anyway, and once we committed to this, even if no one listens, we were still going to do it. So we were committed, but thankfully we have you, and we are working on improving the show going forward. I have some ideas. The audience is going to be part of some of those ideas, and the Facebook page, I can't say enough about that. A great group of fans, a couple of haters on there. Great people, though. We love interacting with them before and after the games. And my only regret, and I was telling Joe this earlier, is that we did not start Twitter sooner. And Joe was the one to push me to do Twitter. And I'm glad that we did. We're a little behind on it, but I love that group, too. It's the best bunch of trolls you could ever ask for.
Yeah, buddy, including your brother.
Fan. Yeah, my brother's on there, and he's a Duke fan. But and I love it. So thanks again. I just wanted to get that out there. So Syracuse advances to the Sweet 16. They stun the Spartans to advance 55-53 in what equates to basically a home crowd for MSU, holding a third straight team to their season low in scoring for the year. Battle had a quiet 17 points. He led the team in scoring. He was 4 for 14 from the floor, 0 for 3 from behind the arc, but the dagger, he was 9 for 10 from the free throw line. Brissett followed up with a solid 15, 4 for 10 from the floor, 1 for 4, the only one from behind the arc, 6 for 8 from the line. Howard finished with 13 points. He would foul out, however, with 7 minutes remaining, about 6:39 or something like that. He was replaced by Braden Bear, who scraped and clawed every second he was in the game. He gave it his all, absolutely, and he was great. Never got a shot off, but he did have 1 block and 1 steal. Winston led MSU with 15 points. The Orange defense, though, held the Spartans to 25.7 from the floor and 21.6 from 3. The zone disrupted MSU all game as they averaged 81 points a game. They were held to only 53. Finally, Syracuse out-rebounded. I was out-rebounded, 51-30. Let me repeat that, 51-30. This marks the Orange first win of the season when out-rebounded, and that says a lot about the coaching and this team's veracity in the tournament. It's just been off the charts. Joe, Cuse played almost 7 minutes with 3 freshmen, a sophomore, a former walk-on who transferred from a Division II school. They were massively out-rebounded. Just 1 field goal in the last 4 minutes. It was their 3rd game in 5 days. They only hit 1 3 the entire game. How the hell did they win? How the hell did they win? Right?
2 things. Field goal percentage. We had a better field goal percentage. We shot 24 shots for field goals less than them, and they only made 2 more than us.
Yeah, we shot 35.7 from the floor.
Yeah. And we shot 31 free throws to their 16, so we got 24 points from the free throw line. They got 11. And that's just basically, that's sheer math. That's what it is. Their 2 field goals doesn't make up for the 13 extra points we got on the free throw line, and the turnovers were similar. Michigan State actually had 2 more turnovers than we did. And that's really what it came down to, is just the fact that our defense played lights out, or Michigan State was just really, really off, or both combined for them to just be very, very mediocre. I mean, that's really the only word for him, because I was nervous. I was scared. I was ready. I had already had my come to peace moment on, it was a good tournament. It was a good run.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Prepared yourself. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Right. Like I talked about before, even at the podcast, I mean, their 4 losses came from 2 losses from Michigan, Duke, and Ohio State. So their worst loss was, on a 5 seed, and it was an away game. So they hadn't lost to a team like us all year. And just the fact that we hadn't won a game of being out rebounded, and we knew pretty much probably before halftime that we were going to be out rebounded. I don't know about you.
I mean, that was really brutal, though. I mean,
dude, they had 29 offensive rebounds. 29 offensive rebounds to 7. So I don't know what to attribute it to. It's got to be the defense, right? I mean,
it's got to be.
Either that or, like I said, Michigan State just played the worst game they've ever played in their life, but I'd like to think that our zone had something to do with it.
No, absolutely not, Joe. It's a trend. It's been a trend the past 3 games that Syracuse played. It's been the same thing. They've held all 3 teams to under 60 points. And they've held them all to season lows. And like my buddy said to me after the Michigan State win, he says, dude, your team's dangerous when they're not even supposed to make the tournament. And I was just like, yeah, no kidding, right? Because the last time they went to the Final Four when they got criticized for making the tournament. So,
no, I think we're dangerous when our defense is good.
And teams they only have so much time to prepare, on the turnaround there. Jamie Dixon's the only one I would have thought had the edge as a coach.
Oh, Tom Izzo's played against us in the tournament before, too. Yeah, I know,
but Tom Izzo, too, and I'll get into it in the fun facts, but, it's not his record's not great against
us. I know, yeah. It's, again, usually when we get into the tournament, if we have a good defense, or I want to say good, but yeah, you could almost say, if you have a top 20 defense, then usually we make a little bit of a run, The times when we lose is when our defense isn't all there, and we end up getting, beat on all aspects. Come in, lose to Texas A&M, lose to a Vermont, stuff like that. We just gave up way too many open shots and didn't score good enough. So, but this obviously we know what the scoring is. It's ugly basketball. I don't want to hear any more of how come we can't do this, score points, do this. Jim Boeheim's offense sucks. Like, it is what it is. You have what you have, and the talent that we have is the talent that we have. Moyer's not just going to pick up a 3-point shot or a jumper in confidence in the middle of the season. So Boeheim's gotten as much out of him as he can, and we have to grind it out like that. That's the type of game. That's the only way we have to make the game like that. It's the only way that we're going to beat teams like Michigan State. So
it's ugly, and it's good when it's ugly, because that gives us that shot at the end, even though it puts stress on your heart.
Yeah.
That's when that's what we have to do to win these games with this team. Jim Boeheim is squeezing every ounce of talent out of this team possible. Braden Bear. Come on. That dude was on the floor. I don't even know how many times he was on the floor getting the 50-50 balls. And he had one in his hands. They called the jump ball. He was trying to call a timeout.
Yeah, he had 2 jump balls, yeah.
Yeah.
He went in there and played good D. That's what I was telling some guys at work today. And they were asking me about who's that guy that came in when Howard got, and I told him, I was like, it's Sim Bayer. He's a transfer. And they were like, and I was like, but he's a walk-on. And they were just like, well, walk-on? You guys had a walk-on playing in a tournament? I said, we only have 2 scholarship guards. They're like, God, I didn't know that your situation was like that. And I was like, yeah, man, there's a little room for error. And that's just, where we got lucky so far in this tournament is that we, at this point, I don't want to say we've perfected it, but at this point, our team knows what they have to do. They know what's going to happen. They know what type of game it's going to be. So at the end of the game, they don't get all nervous because they've been there. Every single game's been like that. So they know what it is. They're used to it, and it's been fun going from a team that no one thought was going to make it to we're in the Sweet 16.
To just having some of these guys just put their foot in their mouths after every game and eating crow, and some of them are admitting it. Some of them are coming out and saying, I've eaten crow 3 times so far. So some of them don't even want to talk about Syracuse anymore. Because, you know what I'm saying? Let me ask you something. There was not a lot, but there was a little bit of hubbub about the location in the bracket that Michigan State got put into. You want to elaborate on that? Why, they probably got put in that bracket being, 90 miles from their campus?
No, I think that they probably were deserving of a 2 seed. They had the resume for it, and a lot of times what the tournament committee tries to do is they try to, help out teams that they might have to overseed underseed. I'm sorry. Just because that's just might be the way that it just worked out, So that's probably what happened is they probably kind of gave Michigan State a break by putting them in as a 3 seed in the Midwest because they knew that they were going to be playing in Detroit. So
just give them a little bit of an edge because they got.
It happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
That's the politics of it. So, one more thing. Now, the foul on Howard, it was really close.
It was a foul.
It was really close. I know you think it was a foul.
I don't know about the one before that.
That's arguable too. I looked at it. I mean, he was in the way of him landing. Ultimately, I think it's the right call. Okay, but I will say this. I think that guy was falling anyway. I don't think Howard. Unfortunately for Howard, he just got a little too close. But the right call.
Hey man, anytime in a sport when you have somebody that's in the air jumping, you have to be able to allow that person to come down. And that's just a safety issue. And there was obviously contact. And again, like you said, he probably was going down. But at the end of the day, if it's contact and he starts going down like that, they're going to call it. So. Still 6 minutes left in the game, and although a steal would have been great there, if you don't know that you got it 100% and you have 4 fouls, then you just have to back away.
And he knew that. He actually said that after the game in an interview. He wanted to see the replay, but he knew that it was too aggressive. He thought the ball was going to be thrown a little bit shorter than that, and that's why he went after it. So
yeah.
Anyway, all right, Syracuse advanced to the Sweet 16. Joe, we have a few days to revel in it. Any final thoughts on the MSU game?
No, just unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. It was great. It was awesome. And we'll get into the fan feedback of it. The Spartans shot school record 37 three-pointers at 21.6%. Syracuse is 7-1 as a double-digit seed in the NCAA tournament. Syracuse is 11-7 all-time against Michigan State, including 5 straight wins in that series. Since the expansion to 68 teams in 2011, Syracuse is one of 4 teams to make it to the Sweet 16. 2.9% of ESPN's brackets, the bracket challenge they got, 2.9% of that had Syracuse playing Duke in the Sweet 16. And Tyus Battle has the most points ever for an Orange sophomore with 693. All right, go to facebook.com/Cuse Nation podcast or at Cuse Nation Show on Twitter and get on social media with us. So I'll start off. I trolled around a little bit on Michigan State Spartans basketball page on Facebook.
Oh, boy.
So I got a couple of those, but we'll start with ours. Danny says, zero respect for... Oh, wait, this one I didn't get. This is not our guy. Zero respect for how you guys won with following when up by 3. Nobody outside of New York respects this win. What do you want him to do?
Who's that from? Is that Michigan State?
No, it's not. I don't know. Not an SU fan. Not an SU fan. Zero respect for how you won with following up by 3. Nobody outside of New York respects this win. I mean, it's part of the game. It's part of the game. He didn't like us following.
Play within the rules, man.
They play within the rules, exactly. It's called coaching, you dope. All right, Ian says, I had posted that coach should hang it up, but I've never been happier to eat my words. It's like Bleheim flicks some switch, and that team executes with focus in the postseason. Hey, good on him for admitting he was wrong, because to be honest with you, he's the only one I know of.
Yeah, I have respect for people like that.
Yes, absolutely. Refs win. Horrible, obvious display of refs interfering in a game. Just disgusting, and another very dark day for a dirty organization called the NCAA. It'll be great, though, to see them get beat in the next round. Another hater. Bring on the hate. I think Syracuse fans all around as a whole have embraced the hate, and it doesn't bother us.
No.
Doesn't bother.
Absolutely not.
No, in fact,
at the end of the day, if you're a Michigan State fan, you guys would have got beaten the next round anyway too. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Just call the refs. You guys got 29 offensive rebounds, had 24 more shots than us, or 22 more shots than us. So you just couldn't hit the broadside of the barn.
You missed the last 14 of the game. Steve says another successful, ugly win for my cardiac Cuse, but you don't need to stick the landing. All you need to do is score more points than the other team. Steve,
Yep.
Exactly. That's what we've been saying all year, Joe, in these ugly wins.
Yep.
Chris says, I doubted them all year. At times they looked like one of the worst teams ever, but now they showed the heart, poise, and determination we have come to expect. And that's the one thing I think that has been a consistent all year is the heart and the fight of this team. Even when they're down, they don't feel like they're down. They don't look like they're down the way they play. They still fight.
But you know what, though? That comment irks me a little bit in the fact that people – it's just one of those things where, one of the chicks dig the long ball and they like the people that put up the points. Like, again, that's just one of those things. And I think everybody, even the media and everybody that was going against Syracuse, fed into that whole thing. It's just that how ugly we've played all year. They didn't look at the numbers. They didn't look at our defense.
That's how we won.
They just looked at exactly. And the games we didn't win, our defense didn't step up, and other teams made shots. So, but at the end of the day, that's how we won our games. That's how all our games were. So, but everyone wants to see sexy, Just gritting your teeth and
they want
hunkering down and
lobs
holding the team to 50 points. They don't want to see that shit.
Yeah. lobs and long three balls and buzzer beaters and all the fancy things.
They want to see the Golden State Warriors and put up 100 points or whatever.
Exactly.
That's not this team.
Yeah.
You have to play within the rules, play to the strengths of your team, and figure out the best way to beat other teams. And that's what this team's done, and they're on a run right now. So.
Yeah, so then I went to
the worst team ever.
Yeah, I know, right? Give me a break. People have said that all year. This is the worst team I've ever seen.
We had not one game that we've looked like the worst team.
No, absolutely not.
There was games last year.
There was the Virginia game that was pretty ugly, but
there's games last year a lot more games
St.
last
John's
year that
game,
looked
right off the top of my head was awful. All right, MSU's Spartans basketball verified fan page. Jason says Tom Izzo was out-coached again. Carter and Tillman over Ward and Jackson for virtually the entire half. Yeah, Izzo was out-coached. He absolutely was out-coached. I think he admitted that too. Andrew said, embarrassing. Sorry, but you have them in foul trouble and you won't take it to the hoop and keep settling for threes and jumpers. That's a load of manure.
That's what the zone does, though.
Sorry about that, Andrew. Joey says, you guys are absolute. They're talking to their team, the Spartans. You guys are absolute garbage. You're lucky Syracuse didn't play much better, or else you would have lost by 25 at least. Go home.
No, he's obviously not seen us play this year.
Right?
We ain't beating anybody by 25.
Yeah, no kidding. Craig says, and with that goes Izzo's last chance for a second title. Pathetic showing today. Got out-coached by a mile. That's what I'm talking about.
They weren't winning the championship.
Had all effing year to learn how to play against the damn zone. Know what? You deserve to lose. MSU.
Dude, you can't practice against
you can't
2-3 zone
it.
all year because you might play Syracuse in the tournament. Get out of here.
It's not even a 2. It's a 2-3 zone. I guess is what they call it, but it switches.
Nobody else plays that 2-3 zone. It wouldn't even matter. You can play some teams that have 2-3 zone, but it's not the same, especially with the length and the team that we had this year. And again, you can't practice the 2-3 zone just because you might think you might play Syracuse in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Get out of here.
No, look at and that's an absurd comment by Nolan. And look at Jamie Dixon. We talked about Jamie Dixon. He knows the zone. You can't teach it. You have to see it first. You
have to play against it. You have to have players that have played against it and have seen it.
Steve says MSU out-rebounded Cuse 500-4, and they still couldn't pull out the win. # fire Izzo.
Ridiculous. That's crazy. It was crazy. They had so many rebounds.
I know. It was nuts. Jeff says shameful waste of talent. Ray says, can't believe I even watched that garbage. Sad. David says, I'm embarrassed to be a fan today. What a waste of a season. Melissa, yeah, right? Melissa says, this is all Izzo's fault. He's losing his touch. Horrible coaching. Michelle says, when a bad team plays bad and you lose, it's all coaching. On you, Izzo. Ken says, bums like I have said all year deserve to lose.
I like them. Sounds like one of our fans.
Dude, those were great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Spartan fans, for that. That was enjoyable. At Syracuse 44, or excuse me, at 44 Syracuse 44 on Twitter. 11, Arizona State. 6, talking about seeds. TCU, check. 3, Michigan State, check. Sweet 16, check. Absolutely. Going to the Sweet 16. Eric Devendorf. We keep fighting. We always believe, and we do it together. Absolutely. At Cuse Army. If Syracuse has pissed off basketball experts and ruined people's brackets, it's been a good and successful day. Hashtag Cuse by a million. Sean Keeley. At Sean Keeley is me. The leading cause of heart disease in America is Syracuse basketball. In the tweet of the game, here's the tweet of the game at, I guess it's Kimberly, Kiembery. Kimbery? Well, I don't know. Whatever. Kembry. There you go. This is it. Guys, I think Michigan State sparted. So that's it.
Yeah, they stunk all right. So.
They did. So that's it for that. Facebook.com/Cuse Nation Podcast, at Cuse Nation Show on Twitter. All right, Joe, this Friday at a half hour after the Clemson game, as you like to say. They're saying 9:37. But this Friday, Syracuse takes on a familiar foe in Duke. And we kind of know what to expect. But, I mean, I don't know. What do you think, man? What do you think?
I think it's every game, it's, the confidence going in just gets a little bit lower. But before last game, I was kind of at the point where I was okay with it. They've overexceeded our expectations. We've talked about it time and time again. I think Boeheim has had one of his best seasons as coach. And again, like you said, this team does not give up no matter how limited they are in certain areas, including cartilage and knees.
Yeah,
but it's just another thing. Like at this point, I feel like we're almost on borrowed time. Like
I felt like we were on borrowed time against the Spartans.
We're gonna. I mean, yeah, right? Technically,
yeah.
I mean, at that point, it's just again, whatever happens, you can't look at this season as a bad season whatsoever. You're probably one of the most successful if you look at actual expectations coming into the season. And again, nobody really forgets the first game. It was at Duke. We held them to 60 points at Cameron Indoor. So I think that we're playing in Omaha. So I don't really know. I mean, both teams travel pretty well, but it's not going to be a home. It's a true neutral court game.
Yeah, it is.
They out-rebounded us last game. The first time that we played them, they beat us 60-44. They played their 2-3 zone, and they zoned us up and kind of beat us at our own game. I remember there were a couple different plays in that game where I thought we
fouled out early, and he was actually doing really good. He had like 13 rebounds and 8, 9 points, something like that.
Yeah, well, again, those big guys killed us. Those two guys, in my opinion, they're 2 top 10 picks, lottery picks in the NBA. I know Wendell Carter, he got in some foul trouble, and there were a couple guys that were banged up coming into the tournament. But I mean, they've beaten 2 decent teams, albeit not the same. I mean, I guess that happens when you're a 2 seed, but they played a 15 seed Iona and a 7 seed Rhode Island, and they won by 22 the first game, 25 the second game. And again, I think we know what we're going to do. It just comes down to what are they going to do. And even the first time we played them, I mean, they didn't shoot well from the 3-point line. I remember, if I remember, neither team did there until Brissett hit one right before or close to halftime. But it's going to be tough unless we can go back and we can scout and practice and kind of see what Duke did against us the first time and what we can do to change stuff. If we can't change the way that we played down low, I don't know. They're going to have a way easier at scoring down low. So,
I mean, no one's really been able to shut Bagley down, though. And He just always has a good game.
Right, and that's what we've been kind of doing is we've been kind of going out and guarding the 3-point line, 3-point area, and kind of forcing them out a little bit, getting on the good 3-point shooters, and that's what we did against Duke the first time. We held Grayson Allen and Gary Trent, right? Too. That they didn't play good at all. They didn't shoot good at all. They didn't shoot a lot of threes. But what we did was, we basically forced them to pass the ball inside and make plays down there, and they did. And that's what we've been doing to all the other teams that we've played so far in the tournament. And every game, more and more of the teams have become a little bit more successful. Arizona State wasn't really that successful at all. TCU, they were a little bit better. And then obviously Michigan State with their rebounding and stuff like that down low. It's harder and harder for our big men down low, and this is going to be the same as far as this instance goes. And Bagley and Carter are beasts. We both know that. So
yeah. So on the bright side, after all that, not that was terrible. You're just stating the facts, but the way this team has played and the momentum in the heart, and they're in the tournament, I think they use that to their advantage. There was a lot of talk last night and today in the press conference about how much Coach believes in them and that this is a tight-knit group.
Yeah.
This is a tight-knit
They got to
group.
be to go through wars like this together. Holy good night.
I know, down in the trenches, in the foxholes. But that matters, though. A lot of that matters.
You're right.
A neutral site matters. They played in Cameron.
A neutral site does matter. You're absolutely right.
So, aesthetically, it doesn't look good. But
don't get it twisted. I'm not. I was just tweaking the facts. I'm not saying that they can't win.
Oh no, I know. You're just stating facts, man, and everything you said is absolutely true.
Right.
Duke is Duke, man, and you better get used to it because they got a hell of a recruiting class coming in next year too. So
1, 2, 3, and 10.
So young.
They saved one for us.
Yeah, right. Young, but still. So aesthetically, like I said, it looks tough, but there's
it's
a lot
one
of
game.
Things, yeah, there's a lot of things in our favor. Syracuse is taking one game at a time, and
I feel like they probably have a lot more to prove too.
Absolutely.
They've already went and they've lost to Duke. Maybe I don't want to say Duke's going to overlook us because it's Sweet 16, but who knows? Who knows how they're feeling about it?
Like we said, like you made the point earlier. I don't think Coach K is going to let them overlook it. But,
no,
player mentality, though, we saw what happened to UVA. You think Tony Bennett let them overlook the Retrievers? I doubt it.
At some point you question, though. A coach can only control so much of that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We don't know what's going to happen. Look at what we all thought. Look at what bracketologists and other fans and even our own fans thought before the tournament, before Selection Sunday.
Oh,
and
the
here
negativity.
We are.
Yeah.
Here we are doing another podcast about how we won and how. And
we're going to the Sweet 16.
How are we going to do it on Friday?
Yeah. We've been talking about how since Wednesday or whenever. When did we play? Thursday? We played Thursday? No, we played Wednesday, right?
We played Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Yeah, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So we've been talking about it, and,
Good. You got to stay positive, man.
You got to stay positive
and
take
just
it
watch
game
the game
by game.
in hopes. Right. Watch the game in hopes that you beat them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing that we've gotten this far, and it's an opportunity. In our
3 years of sanctions, we had one disappointing year. Out of 3 years of sanctions, and this is the third year of sanctions. This is the thinnest I ever remember this team being. And
I never remembered it this.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a team that hasn't had as many talented players as like a Battle and a Brissett and Howard, but as far as deep wise,
and there's been a different guy every game stepping up so far too. You had Brissett, then you had DJ, and then you had Battle, and they could Mark, he could do it again. He could do it again at any time. You know that.
No, my thing is who's to say? Who's to say there's not going to be a game where they all click? or a couple of them click.
Yeah, or Chuku doesn't, foul out. He was in a post-game interview talking about how he tries to feel out the refs, and he bases a lot of his play on how Sidibe is feeling and whether he's good to go or not. So on his aggressiveness.
Well, that makes sense. And Chuku didn't foul out last game, and Sidibe put up more minutes than he did. So
yeah, they both looked good too for 3 games in 5 days. Would you agree?
As good as they
for 3 games in 5 days.
As good as they could.
Yes, exactly.
As good as they could. Exactly.
All right, Joe. Final thought. Heading to the Sweet 16.
Well, we're there, man.
We're
not
there.
heading. We're there, man.
Yeah,
we're there. It's just
so
we gotta wait. Gotta wait all dang week and just get excited about it, man.
I'm okay. My nerves are shot. I'm
you
good
can't,
with a few days off.
The nerves should be gone. It should be all excitement at this time. My anxiety and my nerves about them winning games. I mean, it's over. We got here. We did more than what we thought we were going to do, more than what anybody really thought we could do. Even the most positive homers, like you like to call me, didn't think this. So, I mean, just go along with the ride, man. Just stay excited and just watch it and hope. If not, you're not going to take anything away from them by losing the Sweet 16 game to Duke. So just hope that they go out there and just do their thing one more time. They call it cardiac Cuse and this and that, but I'm starting to like that. I'm starting to look forward to, watching the game and just watching them really, really just.
Well, you want that game against Duke, unless because we're not going to pull ahead, so you want that.
No, it's just I'd like to see teams get frustrated. I like to see them go out there. Their defense is out there, and it just seems like nothing's going on, and it's fun to watch. I'm almost embracing the slow kind of just wear them down type, let the clock run out.
Year. Yeah.
Huh?
They've controlled the pace of every game. They haven't been able to run the court. It's been a focus, of theirs, getting down and getting set up on defense.
Every single score has been between 60 and 50 points.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, well, Cuse Nation, enjoy it. We will be back here as soon as we can get back. Hopefully we can get back Saturday afternoon or something. But until then, enjoy the week.
Stay positive.
Stay positive. Don't get upset. And that's it. We'll see you after the game. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
You just heard the Cuse Nation podcast with Sean and Joe.